What is up, everyone? My name is Mr. J, and today I am bringing you a Digimon deck profile. So I took Gallantmon to locals, managed to get third place. You guys saw the matches on the channel. I lost round 1, but I was able to bring it back and then won my next 3 rounds. So I went 3-1 with the deck, again third place. It's not a typical Gallantmon deck, so you'll see what I'm talking about. Let's just get into the deck profile. We have just 4 eggs, and that's the draw 1 Digimon when attacking. I prefer this one over the added DP deletion effect because, give me a sec. I prefer this one over the added deletion effect because you just want to unbreak your hand sometimes. I don't think it's wrong though if you play the new egg. And I'm just gonna lay out the rookies here. For our rookies, surprise, surprise, we are running a full play set of Gallantmons. So 4 copies of the EX2 Gallantmon, that's the one that searches you a Growlmon in name or Gallantmon in name and a Takato. So this is the best searcher. This is the new BT12 Gallantmon. This one's really good. I know a lot of people don't like it, but on play, reveal top 4 cards, you get to add all Takatos to your hand. So usually what you're doing is if you're desperate for a Takato, you play this. But what's really good about this one is that this one has the DP buff. So if you have Growlmon or Gallantmon in name, you gain 2k DP. And that's really good because making your level 4s and your 5s, giving that buff is really, it's really significant because you can blitz and then swing it at opponents to like suspended Digimon and you get value that way. And then just 2 copies of the old Gallantmon. I like this one because you can still warp, right, for a 4 cost. But also, it's the inheritable. When your opponent's Digimon is deleted, you get to draw 1 card every turn, which is really nice. The extra draw is needed. And then just 2 copies. Oh, there's a glare there. 2 copies of Gallantmon X Antibody. He's just there for the added DP deletion effect, the inheritable, but the when Digivolving effect does come up, like pop those little rookies. And then my secret tech, my spicy tech, is 2 copies of Gallantmon. So I'm actually doing the deck profile before the videos go up, but if you guys saw, Gallantmon was doing a lot of work because Gallantmon's pretty much the cool boy with the DP buff. I think he's going to be using the Alliance deck coming up. Let me see. Yeah, so if you control a Gallantmon, you could reduce the play cost by 2, so you play it for 1. And then when one of your Digimon digivolves, you can suspend it, this Digimon, to gain 1 memory, draw 1 card, and give that Digimon plus 3k DP. So a lot of the times your megas will be over 12k, right? Your level 5s. Your level 5s, I mean. And then your level 6s swing safely into security. You don't have to worry about anything. The Gallantmon, I know a lot of people don't like it. I think someone for Mario's tournament suggested I drop it down to 1. And I was like, nah, bro. The Gallantmon's so good. You gotta test it out. For our champions, we are running 4 copies of Growlmon. This is the new Growlmon. 4 copies of the OG Growlmon with the inheritable gain 1 memory when your opponent's Digimon is deleted. And then 3 copies of Growlmon X Antibody. I wasn't playing Growlmon X Antibody before. I actually got punished by a Bloomlordmon player because I wasn't playing this. But what's really good about him is that it's your turn inheritable, add 1000 maximum DP to your DP based deletion effects. So with the new Gallantmon, he could potentially delete level 5s, which is really good. That's what I mainly use it for. So versus Bloomlordmon, this puts in a lot of work. The only problem with this Growlmon X Antibody is that it doesn't work with the new Takato, right? The new Takato lets you warp from the trash or use materials from the trash to warp. It doesn't work with that one, so you have to be very careful. You can only use these 2. These are, in my opinion, the best Growlmons to date. This one's just like the added DP, by the way. And then what's really nice also is that you get to play a Takato with this one. So Imperial Digimon didn't get one like this, but when Digivolving, if you don't have a Takato in play, you may play a Takato. Really good. And the inheritable plus 2k DP, again, it does come up. For our megas, for our level 5s, 4 of the new BT12 War Gallantmon, 2 of the EX3 War Gallantmon, 1 copy of the old BT2 War Gallantmon, and then 1 copy of the EX3 War Gallantmon. So this was what I played in the tournament. The best one is the BT12 War Gallantmon. The inheritable end of attack, if your opponent has no Digimon in play, gain 2 memory. And if this Digimon has Gallantmon or Gallantmon in name, it comes up so much. Like a lot of the times, your opponent will play around your Gallantmon by just not playing anything on board. And so this card punishes them for that, right? If your opponent doesn't control a Digimon at the end of the attack, you gain 2 memory. So it forces your opponent to... It punishes them pretty much, right? If they don't have a Digimon on board. So this is the best one. If I could play it at 8 copies, I would play it at 8 copies. That's how good he is. The second best is the War Gallantmon from EX3. This one is like when Digivolving, you get to trash the top 3 cards. And then if your opponent or you have 5 or more cards in the trash, you may play a Gallantmon or Takato for free. Now he's the second best. I don't play him at 4 copies because he's actually trash in the beginning. You don't want to see him in your opening turn, right? If this is the first War Gallantmon you see, it's not that good. Because chances are your opponent doesn't have 5 in trash, and neither do you. But mid-game to late game, of course, best War Gallantmon. He's really good for playing Takatos. Even replaying the Gallantmon so you can warp is just a busted effect. But again, no inheritable really hurts the card. That's the only problem. I think if it had inheritable, then I would run it at 4 copies, no doubt. But it is what it is with that, right? The next one is just the BT3 War Gallantmon, or BT2. It's just when Digivolving, if you have Red Tamer in play, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 3k or less DP. You can see where this is coming, where this is going kind of, right? You have the Gallantmon X antibody, you have the Gallantmon X antibody. So when Digivolving, if you have both of those under there, you could delete a level 4 usually, like a 5k. And then the inheritable doesn't really matter. You gain 1k DP if your opponent has 5 Digimon or 5 cards in the trash. But I play him. Legendary Kizan, thank you for the follow, man. But I play him just because a lot of the times if you have the Takato on the board or if you have the level 4 here, you can make him a 2 cost. Sometimes you can make him a 1 cost. Same thing goes for this one. Like when Digivolving, you can make these guys a 2 cost or a 1 cost. Oh, what is wrong with my camera? You can make these a 2 cost or a 1 cost depending on what else you have on board. So yeah, that's why I really like them. It's really up to you. I'm just testing this out. And the last one I'm testing out is a War Gallantmon from EX2. So when attacking, it sucks, right? When attacking, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 4k or less DP. If you have a Red Tamer in play, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 6k or less DP instead. Really nice because you get to delete a champion pretty much, usually, on attacking. And with the inheritables that give you the DP buff, it's pretty safe to swing into security. And the inheritable is add 1000 to the maximum DP you can choose with the DP based deletion effects. Again, I'm really working that. I'm really milking the added DP because you'll see our top end right now. But yeah, just testing this out. I don't know if I want to maximize 2 EX2 or 2 of the BT2. But it's really nice. It trains your opponent. Your opponent doesn't really know your level 5s. So they can't really prepare for what you're going to Digivolve into, which is what I like that. Moving into our top end, we are running 4 copies of Gallantmon. Why is it like that? 4 copies of Gallantmon from BT12, 1 copy of Digimon, and 1 copy of Gallantmon. And then I guess I'll just throw the level 7 in here. One copy of Crimson Mode. So the whole point of this deck is to focus on the new Gallantmon because for some reason BT12 has a lot of trashing security cards. So this one, I don't know why this camera is so dark. But yeah, it has Raid, right? So you can redirect into your opponent's unsuspended Digimon, which is really good for controlling the board. When digivolving, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 6k or less DP. Again, you can see where this is going. With the added DP deletion effects, you could pretty much delete level 5s and then raid into level 6s. And then when attacking, delete one of your opponents is the same as when you're attacking, when you're digivolving effect. But if no Digimon was deleted by this effect, then you trash the top card of your opponent's security. So this guy can do a lot of damage. It's always better just to trash the security. So he's good. You can see where this comes in with the Gallantmon, because before it was really hard to keep the Gallantmon on the board, but these guys work so well together because the new Gallantmon does such a good job of protecting Gallantmon, right? Because when digivolving, delete. When attacking, delete. And then you can raid into your opponent's Digimon. So Gallantmon's not going to die, and then they would have to promote their stack and then try to get rid of the Gallantmon and Gallantmon at the same time. So yeah, really, it's a really disgusting combo. But yeah, peanut butter and jelly, I really like them. And Gallantmon makes sure, with the added DP buff, it makes sure that Gallantmon can swing over anything, right? Because even with no other DP buffs, if you have Gallantmon plus Gallantmon, your Gallantmon will be at 15k. If you have the rookie, it'll be at 17k. If you have the level 4, it'll be at 17k? Am I messing up the math? 19k. If you warp while Gallantmon's on board, it'll be like 20, 21, 22k. It gets ridiculous. It's just a lot of DP. Then moving on to Digimon. Digimon used to be at 2 copies. He's really good because versus Beelzemon, a lot of the times he would just be a vanilla on board, right? Like when digivolving, delete something. If nothing was deleted though, you get to trash the top 5 cards of the deck, which does come up to mill the Beelzemon players. So when digivolving, they have nothing on board because usually they have the Impmon and raising area. Just promote, digivolve into Digimon, mill them out, and that's GG, right? But other than that, on deletion, there is a lot of on deletion effects. So on deletion, he gets to play a Gallantmon and a Takato. So the whole point is to replay a Gallantmon and then replay a Tamer, like the new Tamer that lets you warp into Gallantmon into your hand. And yeah, it's a really good combo. It's 5 to digivolve, but sometimes if you have the Takato and the new War Gallantmon, it could be a 3 to digivolve because you'll gain the memory back at the end of attack. And then just 1 copy of the old one, the old Gallantmon. The only reason I'm running him, it used to be Digimon. The only reason I'm running him is because he's a 3 cost, so a little bit cheaper. He does have sec +1, but I usually don't like swinging security because you'll just die. But yeah, it's really good. Sometimes it's a 1 cost with the new War Gallantmon if nothing else is on board. But he doesn't do as good of a job of controlling the board. So he's just there mainly to digivolve here and then go into Crimson mode, right? Crimson mode, if you guys saw the matches, it actually won me 2 matches. And yeah, you might be surprised why I'm only playing 1. But the deck is really bricky. Like, I don't like seeing him in my opening hand. I like seeing him mid-game to late game. There's no reason why you need 2. And I know that's a bad reason not to play 2 copies. But if you open 1 and you brick, you just lose, right? And you're trying to play the game. Especially with Gallantmon, it's very easy to brick. So I'm trying to maximize consistency, make sure that the cards I open in my opening hand are playable. So just 1 copy of Crimson mode. If it comes up, it comes up. And if you guys saw, I was playing 1 copy, and I still drew it. Like I still won, you know. So for our non-option cards or our non-Digimon, we have 4 copies of the new Takato. This one lets you warp, but it's also a memory setter. There's nothing much else to say about that one. I do want to note though that if you use the warp effect, that the Digimon does gain 2k for the turn, but it's really nice because it's just a comeback mechanic, pretty much. So even if you only have this Tamer on board, you can go into a Gallantmon for the cost, pretty much, right? It's really nice. We are running 4 copies of the old Takato, and this one's really good. Honestly, man, like if you guys saw the matches, when I didn't see this Takato, I was struggling a lot because it was hard to get the DP, like the deletion effects, but also blitz, and it's very important to blitz. So I think like versus Beelzemon round 1, I would have won the match if I saw the Takato that game 3. But I didn't see the Takato. I'm like spitting, bro. But I didn't see the Takato, so maybe drop down this tamer to 3 copies. But the old Takato is definitely the best one. This guy is so good. Every turn also gaining you the memory is just too good. And the last two copies of the deck is 2 copies of red memory boost. Just for consistency, right? I would run it at 3 copies if I could, but I like the Gallantmon, so I think the Gallantmon would stay. If you're not a fan of Gallantmon, you could just drop them down and play 2 more copies of red memory boost. It's up to you, but I like the Gallantmon. Also, I am live on Twitch, guys. Follow me on Twitch if you don't follow me. I know the question's gonna come up, why don't I play the Gallantmon X Antibody? I don't like it. I think it's a vanilla. It's a very combo-centric, the Gallantmon X Antibody. So a lot of the times when I play the mirror match and I see they're running Gallantmon X Antibody, I won't leave anything on board. And they'll digivolve into Gallantmon X Antibody, unsuspend, do their thing, and nothing happens. It's just a vanilla after that. So I don't like Gallantmon X Antibody. If you want to drop these 2, play Gallantmon X Antibody, go ahead. But personal preference, I don't like it. I would, 9 times out of 10, I would rather have this Gallantmon. I would rather have this Digimon. I would rather have this Gallantmon than have Gallantmon X Antibody in my hand. Dude is just a vanilla. Don't like him. And I don't care what anybody says. Like, I know a lot of people are like die-hard fans of Gallantmon X Antibody. The alt art looks really nice, don't get me wrong. I used to have it, but it's just not a good card. It's just not my playstyle. But yeah, that's the deck profile, guys. Again, 3rd place, even though I lost round 1. And I think if I had won that round 1 versus Beelzemon, I think I could have clutched it out to 1st or 2nd place, for sure. But yeah, we'll never know. Hopefully I do get to top with this deck before EX4 comes out. But even then, EX4, you get support for Gallantmon, and then BT13, you also get support for Gallantmon. So this deck, I'm looking forward to playing it. BT13 and EX4. But yeah, man. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed that deck profile. If you liked the video, make sure to hit the like button. Let me know in the comment section down below what do you think. Am I wrong about Gallantmon X Antibody? But yeah, anyways, again, hit that like button, subscribe if you're not already subscribed. My name is Mr. J, and I will see you all next time.